The Stormers have beaten the Dragons 29 points to 21 in Cape Town. This was a really good game for the Dragons, a very disappointing performance for the Stormers. But before we get into it, guys, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. We're going to be doing a lot more URC content, Champions Cup content, all the international games, doing some player ratings for the international teams as well. So if you do enjoy the content, stick around, hit the bell icon as well if you want notifications. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. So, Stormers were really disappointing today, really disappointing. They were disjointed. There were too many players trying to be the hero. 18 turnovers lost, pointless kicking. And I think if the Stormers play this way going forward, they're not going to be going very deep into this tournament. And this is coming from a South African fan, a fan that watching the Stormers as a neutral, a complete neutral, but if the Stormers play this way going forward, they are not going to go far into this tournament because you still have the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, the final. And if the Stormers play like this, honestly, whoever they play in the quarterfinal, I think they'll drop out. They won't be able to beat them because they look so disjointed. They look like some players are just trying to be the hero too much, trying too many things. And yes, at the end of the day, they won this game. But when it comes to playoff rugby, where teams are going to have a lot more cohesion, not going to be as disjointed. They're going to have some superstar players as well that if you make mistakes, if you make 18 turnovers against Leinster, Glasgow, even the Bulls, Ulster, any of these teams, they're going to punish you. Sharks, they're all going to punish you. And you can't. It's unacceptable to have 18 turnovers in a game, no matter who's playing. If it's Sasha and Ngomezulu, if it's Mani Leboko, it's Andre Pollard at fly half, no matter what's happening, these performances need to get better. And Sasha and Ngomezulu had a good game. Yes, he's also trying a lot of things right now, but that's what you expect from a guy like him. He did score the first 2 tries in the game. But overall, the entire team for the Stormers right now, it just doesn't seem like they're on the same page. And honestly, the way they started the tournament, they can be thankful that they did. Because right now, if they were playing this way the whole season, they probably wouldn't be in the top 8. So very disappointing recent performances from the Stormers. They are kind of the standard right now for the SA teams. But to be honest, the Lions recently have been playing much better. The Bulls recently have been playing much better. And even the Sharks have beaten the Stormers twice this year. So from the start of the year till now, it looks like a completely different Stormers team. They've still got the Champions Cup to play in as well. That's going to be a very, very interesting one. Can they go deep into that one? I think they're going to have to go for their full strength team and just find a way to play that is a bit more of a higher percentage game. Because right now, the Stormers are throwing the ball away, giving silly offloads. I don't even know what style of rugby they're trying to play right now. I don't know what style this team really does suit, but they just need to go into a kind of style of play that is more composed, where they can slow the ball down if need be, get the set piece done well, get the exits done well, instead of being so frantic and trying to run the ball from all over the show. Against the Dragons, it's going to work, but it almost didn't work. 29 points to 21. But if you play against Leinster or Glasgow or any of these really good teams, it's just not going to work, and they are going to punish you. So that's just something I saw from the Stormers side. But you have to give credit to the Dragons. Going away from home to Cape Town and honestly keeping it close with the Stormers, it's very clear that this Dragons team is really improving right now. And the penalties just hurt them. 13 penalties in the game. That will hurt you. That really will. It'll hurt any team. And if you're playing against the Stormers with all the talent they have, Ruan Nel, Imad Khan, Sasha Ngomezulu, Damian Willemse, Sibelo Sanatla, Wandisile Simelani, all these Dan du Plessis, all these incredible players from the Stormers, they will punish you. And they did. They weren't at their best today, the Stormers, and I think if they were at their best, it would have been a much bigger score with those penalties. But overall, that's how the game went, and the Stormers will be disappointed, but happy that they got the win. Dragons will be disappointed that they had a loss, but overall, I'm pretty sure that the Dragons will have some sort of self-confidence, major boost in self-confidence from this, because they are getting better. Yes, they've lost a lot of games, but they've been close losses, and they are getting much better in this tournament. And I will say, throughout the entire tournament, games are getting a lot better, games are getting a lot closer. Yes, Edinburgh lost by far to the Lions. Yes, Munster lost by far to the Sharks. Wasn't their strongest team. If it was their strongest team, I think it would have been a lot closer. But overall, games are getting more competitive. The lower teams in the tournament are actually able to compete with the top teams, which in the last few years, it's been absolute whitewashes the whole way through. So the URC right now is getting really interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. But Stormers next week have Edinburgh. Dragons have the Lions next week. That's going to be a tough one in Ellis Park against a really charged up, motivated Lions team right now with some really good youngsters. Patot Lekani, Henku van Wyk, Niku Steyn, Hashim Pede, Morne van der Berg, some really good players there. Francis, Kelly Mpeku as well, some really talented players from the Lions. I honestly believe right now as it is, going to Ellis Park to play the Lions right now over the last few weeks is probably more difficult than to play the Stormers in Cape Town right now. So I do think that's going to be a really big test for the Dragons next week, but I do think they are going to be really motivated from this, and it could even be a really good game next week. Stormers have Edinburgh. Edinburgh had a big loss to the Lions. There's a bit of pressure right now around the coaches, a bit of pressure around the players. They've got some Scotland internationals in the team. They're going to be trying to push for a top 8 spot. And once those teams are outside the top 8 or just on the brink of the top 8, they start playing with a lot of desperation. The Stormers right now are in a kind of comfortable position. Yes, the top 8 is very close, but they are firmly in the top 8, in the top 4. But Edinburgh is going to come next week with a point to prove. They're going to try bounce back. They're going to try prove something to their fans, to their travelling fans, to their coaches. The players that are there are still a very good squad. It will definitely be a closer game than the Lions game. But the Stormers as well, they have to pitch up next week. They have to play a bit better rugby. But overall, a good game of rugby. Not the best game to watch, but it was still a decent game. Dragons did really well. But let's go over some of the stats and see where the differences were made. So overall, 22-meter entries. Stormers had 13 entries into the Dragons 22, and with an average of 2 points scored. Dragons had 8 entries into the 22 of the Stormers with an average of 2.6 points scored. So that's actually a really good stat there from the Dragons, that when it came to the 22-meter entries and success rates in the 22, Dragons were actually able to beat the Stormers in that regard, which is a very important stat going forward. If we look at the attacking profile of the game, the one clear difference in the game: 22-meter entries, line breaks, carries, kicks. Post-contact meters were close, but 22-meter entries, line breaks, carries, and kicks, Stormers were better than the Dragons in every single department there. 22-meter conversion rate, that's where the Dragons did do better, but everywhere else the Stormers did do better. So overall, with the attacking profile, the Stormers definitely did better than the Dragons. Looking at the defensive profile, it's all over the show. And what the defensive profile and attacking profile really is, it's just a graph that shows where teams were different, where one team really surpassed another team, where they were close. You can kind of see where a difference was made. So just looking at this, tackles missed, they were quite even. Tackles made, they were quite even. Dragons made more tackles. Dominant tackles, Stormers made a lot more dominant tackles. They made 3 to Dragons 0. So making 0 dominant tackles in a game, not really something you see at the professional level. Tackle offloads allowed, Stormers allowed a lot more offloads. Tackle turnovers, Dragons had more tackle turnovers and more turnovers won. Really a lot more than the Stormers here. So tackles missed, 16 for the Stormers, 20 for the Dragons. Tackles made, only 98 for the Stormers, 141 for the Dragons. Turnovers won, 10 turnovers won for the Dragons, 4 turnovers won for the Stormers. This is the kind of stats you don't really see for an away team. Normally the home team will really be dominating the turnovers won and stuff like that and have a lot less tackles missed. But Dragons really kept up with the Stormers in this game, so that's really good to see from their perspective. And we're just going to look at some of the other stats as well that really played a part in this game. Some of the good individual performances: Evan Roos with 14 carries, Marcel Tennyson with 12 carries, Harrison Keddy with 12 carries, line breaks, Sasha Feinberg and Ngomezulu with 3 line breaks. He's a very dangerous player with ball in hand. I just think near the end of the game sometimes it's hard for a guy like him to not try to do everything himself, because he is the star player. He is one of the guys that can make a difference. We saw it. He scored 2 tries as well. He's a very good player with ball in hand. He's got pace, he's got skill, he's got power as well. So it's very difficult for a guy like him, especially at the end of the game when you do have a lead, to not try things out. That's why some of the turnover stats you can kind of push to the side and not take as seriously, because the Stormers were trying to throw the ball around a bit. They were trying to force things, but that's what the Stormers do. They try force things sometimes. I would love to see them maybe not try force things as much and just play a bit more of a team game until things do open up for them. They do kind of, compared to the other teams, spread the ball wide a lot earlier than other teams. Sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. But the Stormers are going to find their feet. Jared Rosso with 2 line breaks, Rio Dyer with 2 line breaks. Rio Dyer was really dangerous today. He's a guy I was really upset to not see in the Welsh squad for the Six Nations. I do think he's putting up his hand every single week. He's fast, he's explosive, he's powerful, he's dangerous. And I would really like to see Rio Dyer on the wing for Wales. Even if it's just a game that they're trying to give guys some experience, or just giving some of the second string guys some game time. I would love to see Rio Dyer get some game time, because he's an absolute superstar player in Wales and I really do like watching him play. Tackles completed: Harrison Keddy with 19 tackles completed, Thomas Young with 12, Evan Roos with 11. Evan Roos with a really high work rate, once again showing why he needs to be in the Springbok team, or just in the outer squad as well. He's a really good player and he does deserve it. Turnovers lost: Damien Willemse 3 turnovers lost, Sasha Ngomezulu 3 turnovers lost, Ruan Now 3 turnovers lost. Evan Roos, 3 turnovers lost. Leolin Zas, 2 turnovers lost. A lot of turnovers lost from some really key players for the Stormers. And that's why you can see the score was a lot closer, because Rua now is one of those guys normally running those really hard lines, getting those line breaks. Sasha Ngomazulu in a key position, also 3 turnovers. Evan Roos, a key ball carrier for the team, 3 turnovers. Yeah, I mean, just looking at that, those are not good stats for those guys. Turnovers 1, Ryan Woodman with 3, Rodri Williams with 2, Brody Coughlin with 2, dominant tackles, Damien Willemse with 1, Siabelis Nader with 1, and Imad Khan, quite a physical player for his age as well, at scrum off with one dominant tackle there. Looking at the set piece, 100% scrum win rate for the Stormers, 100% win rate in the lineouts as well, with 17 lineouts and 8 scrums. That is a very positive stat to take from this game, where the Stormers have kind of been lacking in other games, but the lineouts have been really good from the Stormers recently. I mean, JJ Kotze and Andre Igufensa have been really solid at lineout time. All the hookers for the Stormers have been really solid at lineout time. Scrums as well, with 8 scrums getting 100% win rate, that's very good. Dragons, on the other hand, 71% win rate at the scrums, not the best stat, but with the set piece for an away team always does go down away from home. It's a bit of a scientific or proven statistical fact that when a team is playing away from home, the set piece for them, they normally do lose the set piece battle, or they do decrease their set piece percentage by about 5 to 10%, which is a lot, especially if you think 10%. So if a team away from home does get a successful set piece, then they normally in that time do really put pressure on the home team. But I mean, as you saw in this game, Dragons didn't have a good set piece. They weren't able to put that much pressure on the Stormers up until the end of the game. The scoreboard maybe does flatter the Dragons a bit, but overall, the way the score ends is the way the score ends. But still, the game ended a lot closer than Stormers fans, Stormers coaches, and Stormers players would have liked. So yeah, Dragons did do well to kind of keep the game that close till the end of the game. And that Rio Dyer try at the end, to be honest, from a Stormers perspective, that is absolutely unacceptable, allowing an inside pass like that with no threat at all, not even touched on his way to the try line. So there is a lot of things for the Stormers to work on, but as you can see, the set piece is a really positive, very positive part of the Stormers game right now. If they can just keep getting the set piece right, all the other things will fall into place, because if you don't have a good set piece, you're not going to go anywhere. But if you have a very good set piece, you can really build from that going forward, especially when it comes to playoff rugby. Passes, 126 passes for the Stormers, 113 for the Dragons. Ball carries, 105 for Stormers, 80 for Dragons. Post contact meters, 181 for Stormers, 154 for Dragons. Two of the lower post contact meters I've seen this week throughout the other games. Normally they've been around 250 to 300, some even at 400. So some really big post contact meters in some other games. Penalties, 14 penalties for the Dragons, 9 for Stormers, both really high counts, but 14 penalties you cannot be giving away. With the likes of a Sasha Ngomazulu that can kick the ball over from his own half, who's really deadly accurate for the line as well. Damien Willemse, if they need be as well, is really accurate for the line. Yuri Mattia on his day when he does play as well, really accurate. You can't be giving up penalties like that, especially with the set piece that the Stormers have. So that's just a clear difference maker in this game. But overall, looking at the table right now, if we had to look at the URC table, Stormers in second place with 46 points, only 4 points below Glasgow, so they are looking really good on the table, but the way they've been playing doesn't really represent this right now. Yes, they had those games where they were undefeated for most of the first half of the season, but now they've really dropped off a bit. Yes, they are second on the log, but it doesn't really show how, that doesn't really represent how they've been playing recently. I mean, Ulster in third with 42, Leinster in fourth with 41, Cardiff in fifth with 40 points, Munster in sixth with 39 points, Lions in seventh with 38 points, and Bulls in eighth with 35 points, Connacht on 35 points as well. Connacht in 9th, Ospreys in 10th, Sharks in 11th, Edinburgh in 12th, really pushing for a top 8 spot as well. So it's all getting really close right now, but it's really good to see the URC so close like this. Can the Stormers end on top by the end of the season? Honestly, they can. It's going to be tough because Glasgow right now looks like the team to beat. But just looking at the table for the entire URC, that's not really how I think the top teams are right now, to be fair. If right now, the way the Stormers are playing, I'd have them at a 4 or 5 on the table. But luckily, the start to the season really did help them. But overall, some really big games ahead for the Stormers. Edinburgh next week. Edinburgh's going to be trying to bounce back. Stormers are going to try to bounce back as well and get a big win there. If they can get a big win, that'll really boost the confidence in the team. I think it's time now for the Stormers to start playing the same squads. They're getting into the business end of the season now. It's time to start figuring out who their best combinations are. Start playing their best combinations. Because, I mean, Kobus Reinach and Sasha Ngomazulu as a combination haven't really played much this year at all. They haven't really had all the Springboks in the field at once that many times. So if they get those guys back healthy, getting some other guys in the field together, really playing their best combinations, I think the Stormers will have a much better end to the season than the middle half was. big games for them going forward. Champions Cup, top 8 in the URC, big quarterfinal games coming up. If they can just push for a top 2 spot, then they can get a home semi-final as well. Dragons have the Lions up next. The Lions are looking really good. They're looking very dangerous. Some really good up-and-coming youngsters there. The Lions are also trying to make the playoffs for the first time in this competition, so they're going to really be pushing. They're going to be desperate. There's some really exciting rugby ahead, guys. So if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Every single week, I'll be doing the previews and the match reactions for the games, especially for the Irish, Italian, Scottish and South African teams. So stay tuned for that if you do enjoy it. Champions Cup rugby coming up as well, and international rugby this year. It's going to be absolutely awesome. If you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.